Yum.
You know what? I was literally stunning to think that maybe I wrote it was unplayable.
Right. Let's talk about it. Hold up. So earlier today, first of all, I'm having like OCD issues. I'm having OCD issues, like for real. I going out of my fucking mind. Earlier today, I was crossing the street, and then the light turned green. I saw the light turn green, and I was like, "Oh, that means that the cars that I'm in front of have a green light." And so I sprinted across the street, and then I realized that actually I was the one who had the green light. Like, so that's how far gone I am, is that I didn't realize that I had just wandered into the middle of the street when I didn't have the light. And then when I got the light, I sprinted out of the street. Um, and I also ate an entire Domino's pizza. And I didn't want to eat any. I didn't want pizza at all. I had zero interest in pizza. I was just purely It was purely a compulsive behavior that I had zero control over. So I am losing my fucking mind. That is factual. But that's okay. That's okay because um I did automate the creation of the browser bots, and they're now when I make a feed bot, it creates a browser bot at the same time, which is glorious. I mean, okay, so which makes sense because the feed bots are connected to the blog posts and the browser bots are connected to the pages. So basically what it's doing is it's taking an entire website and making it accessible through the LLM, and it does it automatically whenever. So and because it and I just tagged it on to the pre-existing, so I can make them 10 at a time. I can literally take like 10 URLs and it will just turn all 10 URLs into 10 chatbots that are connected to the blog and the pages of the blog. But you can see like this blog has too many pages, or this is not. I'm sorry, it's the pages of the website, not the pages of the blog. You know, to clarify. Um, and I don't know what was going on with me. I don't know what was going on with me, and I don't have to examine it. But this is what I'm talking about. I have like this compulsive thing. I think what happened though is I was playing Clash Royale and I was playing really fucking well, like super fucking well. and I was killing everybody. And I moved into the next league. I moved all the way up to the next league. Uh, and I had this like weird, like I literally couldn't explain why I was doing the things I was doing. It was purely based on a feeling. It was like, okay, I feel like this is the right thing to do now. And it's just like it's always just like this waiting. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, and then now do the thing. And I kept doing that, and I was just destroying everybody. And I couldn't really do, and that's what I'm saying. It was like, that's why I like ate an entire pizza. It was the same. It was like, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I just feel like this is the muscle memory, or this is like a ingrained behavior that I've done before. And I know that if I follow these steps, it's going to come out perfectly. And so it worked in Clash Royale. I don't think it worked with eating pizza. There was no benefit to that. Anyway, so okay, so huh. All right, so this is, wait, can I get out? How do I even get out of this now? Holy moly, what the hell is going on? I have no way of leaving. There we go. Right. So okay, so the point is I can totally automate it in an automated way. Grab all the pages, grab all the blog posts, connect them both to a blog. Connect them both to a chatbot. You see, I ate too much pizza. I can't even talk. But then the review bots have been automated for a while. The only question is whether or not they're like, it's going into the same directory, which is an annoying little problem, but I can, I can figure it out. Then there's the Postmaker bot, which I should really connect to because the only question is whether or not like the website is like a WordPress website, and if it is a WordPress website, is it JSON accessible? And so like there's no reason not to like tag that on with the feed bot and the browser bot. So that's 4. So the only bots that are not automated at this point is the rag bot and the FAQ bot, which I was actually like, I was way further along the process of automating those before. But then I learned about this thing called json-ld. And that really like set me back to the very first step of automating these things. Because I was sort of like, I had developed like okay, so for each like a standardized set of questions that it should be able that I should a standardized set of information that I should have about a website, about a company, about an SEO company. How the fuck do I get this thing out of full screen mode now that it's in full screen mode? I have no idea. Oh, no. Anyways, I should maybe if I no. Okay, that did work. Yeah, yeah. Right. So I had like a standardized set of information that I wanted to know about an SEO company, but then I realized that there is already like a standard for the json-ld, and so the only part that I don't have automated in terms of making these demos is the creation of a reg bot and an FAQ bot, which are all in json-ld format. And so all I have to do is grab the HTML from the website, and put it in JSON-ld format. But what I realized is that in doing that, um, like that fact that that is automating these demos that I'm creating is the least relevant part, because what I'm actually accomplishing there is I'm making things accessible for LLMs. I'm making websites accessible for LLMs. I'm putting a website into a format where it is easily extractable by Google AI Mode and ChatGPT. So what that means is that this is the basis for an SEO company or any SEO company that wants to work with me. What I'm bringing to the table is that I can take any WordPress website and optimize it for access with via LLM. Like that's what I can do. That's what I'm working on right now. I have not started working on it. That's the plan right now. But I mean, if I want to continue automating this process of making demos, then automatically that is also something that I will be doing. So again, the fact that it's automating the demos is like the least important part of it. So I thought, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, once I had that realization, everything that I've done since then has been dumb as fuck. Let's just see. Creative works, books, movie, music recordings, audio objects, organization. Oh, no. Local business. Wow, they have like a standardized restaurant one. I think I already knew that, but whatever. Oh, they have a standardized review one. Definitely already knew that, but whatever. Loan or credit? Honestly, I saw who invents these things. I don't know. I feel like the people that invent these things, like their favorite activity in the world is organizing their sock drawer. And the only reason they do this is because they've already organized their sock drawer. It's as organized as it can get, and they have nothing else to do. Yeah, yeah. For a minute there, I lost myself. I lost myself. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there is a specific schema for. Why is there two different sections here? Why does so there's way more things in this schema than what ChatGPT typically returns when I ask it to use this schema. So the question is why? Anyways, Okay, so there's a schema that is more specific than organization, which is for corporations. There's a local business schema, an online business schema. A resource organization, sports organization, workers union. Oh, I just got so fucking sleepy. Yep, yep. Falling out there. Oh, but I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't have to be efficient or awake or anything. Like, I can just stumble across the finish line here because all I need is to determine which JSON-LDs I want for each company, and then which HTML pages to grab in order to turn it into JSON-LD, and then put those into grab the HTML, put it into JSON, automatically upload that to the vector database, take all of it, turn it into an FAQ, and everything's automated. Everything, not only is everything automated, but again, I then have the ability to turn any like online entity into a JSON linked data structured object, which is optimal for LLM extraction. Yeah, yeah. These fucking potheads are smoking so much weed. Look at how JSON-LD is like the least readable of all of the options, in my opinion. I was going through these. See. The one that is the least intuitive to me is the JSON-LD, but whatever. Okay. Okay, so the question is like, do we want a more specific type of JSON-LD, or is like local business, is that enough? And then the second issue, so the one issue is like, where do we grab the HTML from? which the main issue is like I want to use the navigation from the website. Then the second issue is like ChatGPT keeps making shit up. So how do we stop it from making shit up? Which shouldn't really be hard in an API call. It's easier in an API call than it is with consumer ChatGPT, because with consumer ChatGPT, you're not gonna, you don't have. I mean, some people do, but I certainly don't. You don't have like your set of prompts that are like fixed. But an API call, the prompt is fixed. So once you figure out how to like get it to not make things up, that's done. And so then it's just like, okay, so which pages do you grab? How do you know which pages and which pages do you grab? And do you do an API call to determine which pages to grab? And then you put that into JSON, and which json-LDs do you want? And then how do you combine all those and then upload it to the vector database? It's really not, it's not that complicated as long as you're not trying to do it all in one go. Yep. Yep. But so the first question is which schemas do we want to utilize? So that's why I'm looking at these right here. This is the schema for organization. Does it have examples? Pretty sure I was just looking at examples. There's political parties, medical, government organization. Post France. What is this? Example 3, organization T-Mobile. T-Mobile is example 3. Example 4, the San Francisco 49ers. Member Joe Montana. Start date 1979, end date 1992. Example 5, Acme. I assume they're talking about the Acme Anvil Company, not the Acme Comedy Club in Minneapolis. Acme Supplies. John Lennon. A Day in the Life. Is that a song? In each case, you see how it just seems to, wait, what? Just takes way more to, okay. Anyways, we don't have to overthink this. Whatever the answer to the question is, if it's not a good answer, if it sucks, then it's fine. Like, as long as I have an automated way of dealing with it, then I can, spin up as many chatbots as I want and think about why they suck after they're created. All right, so these are all the potential attributes. We're calling them properties. Beautiful. Hey, what happens if I click on more? What are the open issues? God, I don't care. I do not care. Please don't make me care. $278 Known issues. Ethics policy. Okay. Okay, so here's an example of Delia's Daily Supplies. What are we even looking at? These are corporations. So each of these are different. What the hell? And we only have one example for a corporation. Online business. Let's go to the examples. Only one example again. Protocabulators Incorporated. That's an example. The image, the logo, the parent organization, the address, the aggregate rating. And so that's the other thing, is just like, what of these, like, I don't have to incorporate all of these. If I just say to ChatGPT, like, use the online business json-ld schema, then it will use all of these properties. But like, if there's any that it doesn't do a good job of getting the correct data for, then I can just eliminate those. But I have to know that. All right, here's the json-ld for a restaurant. Does it say the name of the restaurant? How are you going to have an example where the name of the restaurant doesn't exist? Like, okay, the name is Great Food. I don't know if that's a real thing or just purely for the sake of examples there. Here's another example. Okay, yeah, okay, so this page is for local businesses. Oops. This page is for local businesses. So this one is a restaurant, and then this one is a shop or something, and then this one is a what? Home cleaning business called Acme Home Cleaning. And the sub properties are like the services that they offer. Yeah, yeah. Okay. For professional services, we have 0 examples. Here's the restaurant schema, which is weird because we already had an example of a restaurant in the local business schema. I think what I was looking for, the first thing I was really looking for there was the website schema, because every time that I ask ChatGPT to make a json-ld schema for a website, it comes back with like 4 properties, and I'm assuming that that can't be all the properties. In fact, that's kind of the whole idea here, is like sometimes the schemas are a set of types, each associated with a set of properties. The types are arranged in a hierarchy. Um, yeah, it doesn't. Whenever I ask it to on schema for a website, it only has like 4 properties, and I feel like that's not. It should have way more properties than 4. Local business is a subtype of organization, which itself is a subtype of thing. Okay. So a website is a type. Creative work, really? Its properties are URL name and potential action. What does potential action mean? Potential action is what you can do with the website. Okay. What does creative work? So creative work is a thing or a type. A website is a subtype, is a type. It's a subtype of creative work. What is creative work? So the trading website, like it's a article, blog posting, a book, a movie, a music recording, a web page, or website, or software application can all be a creative work. What are all the properties of thing? Thing being the highest thing in the hierarchy. Oh. Look at how they made the json-ld my chatbots. That was nice of them. Potential action is you can contact me. All right. Anyway, so the point here is that for a website, the properties of a website what are the properties of a website? Okay, I thought I hadn't. Okay, what are all the potential? What are all the potential properties of a website in json-ld schema? That's really what I wanted to know. Everything else was just background information. Are there lots? Ooh, there's different levels. There's so many levels. There's the name, alternate name, description, identifier, URL, image, main entity of page, potential action, the author, the creator, the publisher, the copyright holder, the language it's in, whether or not it's accessible for free, whether or not, okay, the keywords, what's about, the aggregate rating, user reviews, comments, content rating, the intended audience. See, there's a lot more than 4 properties. If the website is part of a serial publication, the publisher. The most SEO relevant fields for website are name, URL, description, publisher, the language, the potential action, and same as. What is the same as again? Links to social to like Wikipedia and other profiles. All right. So that was. So we got the organization, corporation, online business, local business, professional service, restaurant. So again, the schemas that I've been using are, well, we can just go ahead and look at them. Like the schemas I used on the Cheyenne Murphy. That's the FAQ. That is a system prompt. Okay, so here's the website schema. Here's the organization schema. Here's the local business schema. Here's the service for SEO. And then there's the FAQ. So we're definitely gonna keep using these, but the question is, do we make them into 4 different documents? Wait, how many different? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bit. So do we make 5 different documents or do we make 1 document like this? And do we jump right into automating it or do we do it manually a few more times? Figure out what we're doing. This stuff is really boring though. It is truly very boring stuff. So honestly, it's way better just let ChatGPT do it and then deal with it when problems come up because it's so boring. Oops, I just closed the local business one. My main open question here is whether or not we can steal the navigation from the website, because I feel like there's some really valuable data in that navigation. And it's not because it's a navigation, it's because it tells you what they want you to know about them. What do you want me to look at? What do you want me to know about your business? That's what the navigation on your website tells me. So that is more important than like this giant list here. About this giant list of pages on this website. But I want to know, which pages do you want me to look at? Which pages do they want to look at? They want people in general to be looking at. I don't think it's Bobby's review, whatever the hell that means. What is that? Firstpage.com.au? Let's take a look at the navigation for firstpage.com.au. So this is the navigation that I want to be able to pull. SEO, Google Ads. You see, like not every SEO agency has Google Ads as a main navigation link. Social, most of them don't have social as a main navigation link. So this is important information. This is what separates them from other. Actually, not only that, but hey, the fact that they have like, you can choose New Zealand, Singapore, United States, Hong Kong, or Austria. That very much clarifies the difference between them and other SEO agencies. AI SEO, ChatGPT SEO, easily generate SEO friendly json-ld markups. Look at that. I literally might actually just use that. Top of things. They are not falling. They know what's up. I see. So you can give them like information about a blog post, and then it will return json-ld that you can put in the blog post so that your blog post will be easily read by LLMs, which is exactly what I'm trying to do here. Temu marketing? Holy crap, that is crazy. So my question is this, like, how do I grab this navigation? Like consistently. Like, sure, I can grab it for this website, but then it'll be different for the next website. Oh shit. Is that really gonna work? Is this gonna work? Block theme navigation posts. Show me those links using this URL. This is so unnecessary, by the way. I could seriously just skip all of this, and I should. It took a really long time. It didn't do what I was trying to get it to do at all here. All right, so what it's saying is that I can take firstpage.com.au and just tag this on the back end of it, and I'll get all of the menus. That's missing a slash. Sorry, you are not allowed to view this menu location, okay? Let's see if I put slash primary, what happens? Also not allowed to view. Let's see what happens if I just put menus. Not allowed. What if I put menu items? Not allowed. I don't think this is going to work. Also, this is a stupid waste of time. I should just grab the pages. I should just grab specific pages. But whatever, it was worth figuring out whether or not this is even possible. But anyway, so ChatGPT was like, okay, yeah, so all of these are not working. But ChatGPT is like, if the core endpoints are locked down on the target site, fall back to plugin routes. So it very much anticipated that this would not work. And it's not working. I mean, obviously, this is just one website. So it's theoretically possible it works on every other website except for this one, but I doubt it. Oh, the site doesn't expose it. So that's the reason why it didn't do what I was expecting it to do, is because that website doesn't expose its public REST menu endpoints. So I scraped the live HTML. So what's PHP I can use to identify the navigation on the home page and scrape the links from it? That's the question at hand here. If you're not going to let me use your WordPress API to do so, then can I do that? But obviously every website is going to have different HTML. So I don't know that there's a way to do that reliably. That said, if you grab the HTML and then you make an API call to ChatGPT to have it determine which section of the HTML is the navigation, and then you scrape that, that should work. But I'm not sure I care enough to do that. I don't think I care enough to do that. I think I'd rather just grab the pages and decide from the page list which pages I want to steal. Okay, so ChatGPT proposes a PHP scraper. It tries a few common heuristics to locate the site navigation, such as nav elements. Then extracts links and preserves basic parent-child hierarchy. It also resolves relative URLs to absolute. If the site builds its menu with JavaScript, the script will not see it. For those, you need a headless browser Puppeteer. Okay, fuck that. Nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're just gonna not use the navigation provided by the website itself. We're just not gonna do that. We're either gonna use the site index, the site map, or we're just gonna list all of the pages and choose in a programmatic way which ones we care about and which ones we don't care about. That's what we're gonna do.